Hey, it's Avril Lavigne, and I just did an interview here on the Zach Sang Show.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Hello, beautiful human. What are you doing there, Daniel?
Nothing.
We're in the presence of,
You can say it.
We're in the presence of an icon, a human being who has shaped music for me and so many others, and shaped. You shape culture at large. Like, Avril Lavigne's here. Yeah. So
Thank
cool.
you. Aw, thank you for having me.
Is it crazy to think about the fact that a young girl from Canada was able to make an impact on culture and an entire generation that is still felt today, but not only felt by the generation that shared and really got a chance to enjoy your music, but it's being passed on to those coming next?
I mean, it's hard to think, for myself, it's hard to think of it that way, but I mean, I can't even believe it. I mean, my first song, Complicated, came out in 2002, guys. What's that, 17 years ago?
Yeah.
And you were 17.
Yeah, and I was 17. Not anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool because I came out during this time where, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and NSYNC and everybody was having backup dancers, super pop music. And when I was making my album, the first one, I just kept being I just want guitars and I just want to sound like a band. And I was trying to express myself as a young artist and just be I just want my music to be kind of cool and rock and to hear music and I was embraced by a record company that, even though that wasn't the thing at the time, seeing too many young sort of pop rock artists, especially at that time, L.A. Reid, who signed me and discovered me, he just looked at me. Probably I was dressed like this in his office, just super cash. And he was I was 15 or 16, and he was you know what? You have your own thing going on. Normally we would put you with stylists and whatever, and you'd figure out a style and who you are. He's just be you. Whatever you got, this thing you got going on, just do that. And I was able to really just follow my gut and my intuition and, make that music that I made.
What does that do for your confidence? Because growing up, it was preps versus the punks, right?
Totally.
And people judged you for this lifestyle and the eyeliner and what you wore.
Yeah, I kind of got a bit of a hard time for it. Now it's people accept that more, and tattoos and colored hair. But people were mean to me about that stuff, having green and pink in my hair and black nails and whatever, black eyeliner.
Because it was just against the norm. It was against the grain, which then turned into the mainstream, essentially.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a young kid when somebody some big fancy music executive looks at you and goes, do you? Because no matter what everybody else is saying, what you are is something special that needs to be, you need to see where it goes, and it can't be held back.
I don't think I really got it until later. So hindsight, now looking back, it's wow, that was cool. L.A. Reid, he sort of just was okay, do your thing. And I mean, I definitely had to fight because I wrote that first album. I spent a whole entire year, and I wrote with a lot of different people. And because I was so young, they were sort of expecting people to just hand me songs. And so I would sing some of these songs and I hated them. And so I had to fight to write. Because I was so young, I don't think they really knew how much I could write or not. And there was a lot of collaborating and me taking songs that I had started on my own and just me also finding my way and discovering who am I, what am I going for.
Is it confusing when you're 17 to be writing such emotional records? Because it's you are still discovering yourself.
Yes.
Does that help you discover yourself, the writing process?
It was all just really natural for me. I had moments that I would even think to myself, where is this coming from? Or I'd listen back to a song and just feel how am I coming up with that stuff? And that's writing music is kind of like a magical experience. Like you can tap into like different, your past or who knows, maybe a past life. Like, I don't know. And like just different scenarios. And I was just very musical and expressive. And I liked writing like little poems when I was younger. I was around a lot of music, like in church and I started singing there. And then like country fairs, I'd go sing there.
You did country covers. That's how you were discovered.
Kind of, yeah.
Captured on VHS and sent around. Yeah. What was it about that country genre that kind of brought you in?
Well, it was more like, where can I sing? Where can I perform? I was picking up the guitar at 14 and started like writing. And then when I was 7, my mom could tell that I could sing and I liked that. And she got me like up on stage in church. And then it was like, okay, now what's next? Okay, so there's like little banquets and fairs and stuff like that around town. So it's like, okay, singing like country songs to fit in there.
In Canada.
In Canada, in my tiny little town of 5,000 people.
Literally. That's the population.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody knows that you're a singer in town.
Yeah, I was known in high school. I was like, oh, the singer girl.
But at the same time, you're a skater.
Yeah. Well, so like in grade 9, grade 10 in high school, yeah, I started skateboarding then and getting in trouble, but it wasn't that bad. Just getting expelled for like drinking beer and like hockey tournaments, getting expelled from that.
Happens. Are you writing during this rebellious phase of life?
So that's kind of when I started picking up the guitar. So I started singing in church and then these country fairs. And then I got to a point when I was, I guess, 15, going into grade 9, beginning high school. I kind of was like, okay, like this isn't cool. Like I was kind of like, wait, I don't know. I kind of took like a step back for a minute and was like, I don't really want to do that right now. Like,
what was
so
that?
I started.
Was it like?
I stopped for a second and I kind of was like, what do I do? Because like, I was like, again, discovering myself and started listening to like Green Day and like skateboarding and like smoking cigarettes and drinking beer and, wearing really baggy pants. And that's when, and meeting other kids in high school and hanging out with guys that play guitar and skateboarded. And like, so that's when I started writing in my room when I'd come home from school. And I paused on church and country and all that stuff, still going to church, but just not singing those songs, and started kind of coming up with the stuff that was like developing me into being the artist that I became on my first album.
Which was true to you.
That was the transition from that into me being, I guess, pop rock.
But like just normal teenage life, right?
Yeah.
But with a different level of intuition, because the records were based on reality.
Yeah.
The records on Let Go.
Well, Skater Boy came because I sat down with Lauren Christie of The Matrix, and when we were writing on my first album, I was just like, okay, so I like guys that have skate shoes on. So if I'm walking down the street and like see a guy with skater shoes on, and like we literally were just having this like conversation, and it was just so natural, and I had like, those are the guys that like I had crushes on, so we just wrote a song called Skater Boy.
Do you have a shoe brand preference? I know that was like a big deal in the skater world, right? Like,
you got your DCs and your Etnies.
Yeah, totally. Do people still wear those?
I don't think so.
I'm into like Vans now.
See, those are cool. Do you remember the DCs? They were so fat.
They're
and
so big, and I still have them. Like at my other house, I still have them. But like, I do have a new pair, and I put it on like probably 6 months ago, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I can like rock these right now. Not with the skinny jeans.
I don't want to be that guy, but I might say that the DC was the Balenciaga of the 2000s, like the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those chunky fat shoes.
Yeah, definitely.
Who came up with the spelling for Skater Boy? Because I feel like that 8 in skate like changed the way the world typed.
And the BOI.
Come on.
Yeah, I did.
Like that 8 just fits there perfectly. And then later comes after that in my world. Everything deserved an 8 when there was an ER. There's something about, complicated. Just back to that for a second. You know that's number 47 on NPR's list of the greatest songs of the 21st century written by a female.
That's dope.
That, like, the 21st century. Just wild to rap.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I see the effects. He was a skater boy. He was a skater boy.
She said, see you later, boy.
Is that like weird? Okay. Writing for you, you've described it magical here. I've heard you describe it as spiritual. Has it always been like that? Has that been like a constant throughout the creation process for you?
Like recently, like on this new album, Head Above Water, this was like a whole new experience for me in a way. So like the first album compared to this one and then the ones in between, like this, like I've obviously like, I went through a lot. I had to take like a few years off. I got sick. Didn't know if I'd still be like working or have a career or like what was going to happen. And then I just started writing like while I was in bed and like all these song concepts like came to me. And like it was the first time I ever took a break. And it was cool because like I wasn't trying to write a record. It just like all these song ideas were just coming to me. And now I'm on this like gnarly writing kick ever since then. And I'm just constantly like coming up with concepts and ideas. And before it was just sort of like after the first album, I was a bit of a like machine. It was like go, go, go. And you go into the studio and you write a song that day and you record it that day and then you leave.
Because you have to. That's the margins, right? Like that's the business.
And this album is like really special. Like if you take the time and like listen to all the songs, you can tell like how much like heart I put into it and how like authentic it is, like the vocal performance and stuff. And just the lyrics. And I feel like I almost appreciate songwriting sort of more than ever now at this point in my life. It's like it does a lot for me. It's like it's healing in so many ways. And it's how I can, really figure things out and move on sometimes and close one chapter and go to the next.
Which... it's beyond special, but also when I listen to Head Above Water, it's a redemption record to me, and it makes me feel like I can get through anything. So that struggle, in that story, so it heals you, but also it helps heal others at the same exact time. So it's a beautiful album.
Thank you.
Does it? What record starts it for you? Like, do you remember the first record you wrote for it?
The first song on this record?
Yeah, Head Above Water. Like
so the very first song that I wrote for Head Above Water, the album, was Warrior and Head Above Water. I can't remember which one came first. And they're both obviously Warrior is about my battle. And I just like one day I was like God, like I'm a warrior. Like, and then I was like, oh my God, it's a song. And that's what like every song on this album kind of came from, like me saying something to myself. Like, and it just was like, just so authentic. Like, and moments of like over the last few years of like intense I've been through.
Were you encouraging yourself in these moments? Like,
yeah, I think that, all of the songs on this album are empowering and inspiring and hopeful. Mm-hmm. And I like that. And I'll be able to look back at this album and be like, I went through that. I got through that. My music helped me. It really lifted me up. And like, I always knew too, I was like, when I wrote like Head Above Water, I thought to myself, like, other people will be able to hear this, if they're like going through a hard time or if they're depressed or whatever, even if they want to end their life, like however dark it may be. I think that this song will hit home with like a lot of people because I've gotten a lot of feedback throughout the years with different songs in fan mail that, you know, my songs had helped them. Like, you know, they're in their bedroom and they're listening to my certain songs over and over and over, and it's like hitting home with them. And so I remember that, and I take that with me. And so when I make an album and I'm writing a song for me, I'm also thinking like, oh, this is so real for me. I know it's going to be so real for somebody else, and I hope that it moves these people.
You need these words, and then others need the same exact words. But the battle may be different, but the words, they represent the same almost, right? Like, they can get you through. Like, Head Above Water, can't part the sea, can't reach the shore, my voice becomes a driving force. I won't let this pull me overboard. Is that a hard song to write or a hard song to record? Is it easy to get it out?
So I came up with this concept in bed, and like I literally thought I was going. And my mom was like laying there with me, and this concept came, and I wrote down all these lyrics. And then later on, maybe it was 6 months later, I met Travis Clark of We the Kings.
Icon.
And I heard him playing piano at a party, and I went over and he was singing, and I just thought he was absolutely like incredible. And I was like, bro, do you want to write a song together? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he came over, and I had this idea, and so I took it to him, and we finished that together. And it was like a really amazing like experience working with him. He's so talented, and we kind of felt like God gave us the rest of those lyrics, and it just like was instant and like all came together.
And even how you met him, right? Because you're at a very vulnerable stage, and you've been in rooms with people. It's not always easy to open up and share your deepest stuff with somebody you don't know. So you just meet him at a party, and then you go into the into a session, and this comes out.
Yeah, I could just tell he was just such a great guy, and there was something really special about him, and I also felt like he was probably like brought into my life to like help me finish the song.
Wow. So you, it's cool, because I feel like the story needs to be told.
Yeah.
So after that and Warrior, do you feel confident enough to take on the rest of the album?
Yeah, so then after Warrior, let's see. Life goes on. I get up. I start dating. Then I write a song called I Fell in Love with the Devil.
Yeah. By the way,
and I was just like, really? Really?
There's so much darkness and light, and in between the two of them.
And
you're in a casket, like in the music video
Yeah.
for I Fell in Love with the Devil. Harsh way to describe this
so it was
person?
just like no, not at all.
Accurate?
Gentle. I'm doing him a favor, and that's all that I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, I got myself into not so great sitch, and obviously, like when I wrote this song, I was like, this is dope, because like I feel like guys and girls like can relate to the song. Like, I fell in love with the devil, now I'm in trouble. I fell in love with the devil, I'm underneath his spell. Someone send me an angel to lend me a halo. I fell in love with the devil, save me from this hell. Like, have you guys ever dated like a crazy?
I think everyone has a little crazy
You
in
know,
them.
so it's like, I think, you know, everyone does have a little crazy in them. But I thought it was a really cool chorus too, and I was really excited about it. And so with this music video, I got to make another little mini movie.
Which is aesthetically beautiful, but like you driving your own hearse with your own casket in the back.
I know, it's dark as
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came up with that. I was like, okay, so I have this idea for the video. I full on came up with that entire treatment. I called Elliot Lester, who also shot the video for Head Above Water. And I was like, okay, so I want to be driving a hearse and like singing, and I want to be in the coffin in the back, and that's a metaphor for, so if I continue to go down this road, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, you're done.
And but by the end of the video, you'll see me break myself out of the coffin and set myself free in the bridge of the song in the video, I'm slow dancing with the devil, and just like fighting temptation and trying to resist him. And then I do take a stand and walk away and make the healthier choice for myself, and ends up in a positive.
Was there a defining moment when you realized that this dude is the devil and you need to get out?
I've never had like friends intercept like that. Like people were
Really?
like, okay, this is done, this is done, this is done. You gotta stop. Like here, we're gonna introduce you to somebody else. I was like, okay, hi.
Look over here.
How does he feel about being called the devil?
He doesn't know. I mean, maybe he knows, but I haven't talked about it.
Did he really try to fix this with teddy bears?
Sure, yeah.
I want to know what he did, but like, how long did it last overall?
It was just like a 8-month thing, but it was just not good.
When do you write this record? Like, is it recently? Is it after Head Above Water's out? Is it while you're writing songs for that album?
No, I had that Devil. I had written that during the time it was all going on, and then there's some other songs on this album too, like Dumb Blonde.
I feel like you don't like talking about this song.
That what?
Devil, do you not like talking about it?
Well, I can't say exactly what the song is about, exactly who it's about. I can say like I went through, a toxic relationship and wrote that, and I'm proud of the song because it was like good for me, and also another like situation where I was like, okay, this is like I got this out on pen and paper, healing, move on.
But that's it. Like, if this album is as reflective of your life as I think it is, every song kind of ends in that you succeed, at least from where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, it's true. Like I was saying, like it's an intense album and it's very real, but there's a lot of strength, and I've gone through a lot in the last like few years, and definitely written about it, but I've gotten through it, and I'm just like hoping by being so open and raw with my music that it can like touch and inspire other people and encourage them and give other people like hope.
Back to Dumb Blonde. I mean, the title, the record, where does it like?
Should we go dark with this? Do you really want to know?
Yes.
Same guy
Really?
Really?
called me a dumb blonde,
Wait, shut the.
misogynist.
Who
and,
is?
and I was like,
Oh my God, he's insecure.
okay, there's a song title. So I got together with my friend Bonnie McGee, and she's amazing.
Incredible songwriter.
And Mitch Allen. I was like, hey, I got this song concept. And then so I just turned like another like negative into a positive and wrote like an empowerment song about it's okay to be a strong, independent woman, to be working, to have an opinion, to have drive, to be a leader, to be an alpha, whatever you want to call it, and you don't have to feel bad for that. If you want to like be a chick who like stays at home and like has like a chill life or whatever, that's one thing. And if you want to be out and working, that's another thing. And you should be able to be whoever you are.
Amen.
And like I was getting judged for that, and which is so gnarly. And it's just like, don't put me on the bench. Don't talk down to me. Don't condescend me. And it's okay to be, just because I'm blonde doesn't mean I'm dumb, obviously. I mean, I definitely have my moments, but don't we all?
How soon after that he calls you that do you go and write a record? Do you need to get it out immediately, or do you let it kind of marinate?
I kept it in the back of my mind, and then probably just like a few months later, because I was making a record.
So it came out.
Yeah.
do you write, like, how do you document your stuff? Like, how do you creatively keep track of all your stuff, ideas?
I have journals. Well, I have like notebooks, like a pile of them, and then I use my phone. Like I'm constantly writing in notes.
Just voice memos? Do you do voice memos?
Yeah, I'll sit down at the piano and come up with a chord progression, melodies, and absolutely have to record those voice notes.
Writing a record like Dumb Blonde, empowerment, but also the one thing that I also keep seeing as we were talking is like your greatest music comes from moments of like deep darkness and struggle and self-discovery, and like when things happen or like you go through stages of like just change.
Yeah.
Your greatest music comes out. Is that like blessing and a curse?
I think it's a good thing. Yeah, when I'm happy, it's really hard to write music. And then I fell in love and I had like nothing.
Is it because you were happy?
Yeah.
Did you try writing?
Yeah, I mean, there was Goddess, and it was like hard to like write such a positive song. Or it was Rare, let's just say that.
So is Goddess, is that written about a different person?
Oh my God. Oh my Goddess. Yeah, inspired by someone new.
Okay.
Is that person still around?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I'm happy, just like doing me right now. Just like focusing on my career and getting ready for this tour. So we're doing we have like rehearsals, band rehearsals, working on a set list. I haven't been on tour in 5 years.
So are you nervous first day of rehearsals? Is it like going back to school? Like, what is it like mentally for you?
I had band rehearsals the other day, and then we have like wardrobe, and then we're doing pre-production, which is like full stage and lighting. I haven't gotten to that stage yet, to that part. But I've been rehearsing in chunks because we'll have like 20 whatever songs.
Wow.
So yesterday, or a couple days ago, I rehearsed with my guitar player, and it was really fun. It was really fun. Just like singing literally like all my old songs again, and like my happy ending, and Here's to Never Growing Up, and I'm With You, and Complicated. And it felt really good. I was like, okay, this is what I just need to focus on right now. This is what feels good. I'm so grateful after, getting Lyme disease and being stuck in bed for 2 years, up and down for another third, almost losing my life and my sanity, getting into a horrible toxic relationship after that, and then just coming out of one thing after another. And then now I'm here making music. I put out a record. It was like hard for me to do that. I didn't feel great. It was me like being like, okay, I'm going to work. I'm going to try. I'm going to put this music out. I'm going to try to shoot a music video. I'm going to try to do these things. And it was like one of the scariest things like I could ever do, like go through, is like to put myself out there. And I'm just fighting and I'm pushing. And I just continue to push every day. And, that's why my music has been healing for me. It's been like I've had this goal, and it's been so amazing to just see like my fans have been patient and so supportive. And then it's like, it's unbelievable. I can't believe I'm going to be doing a tour, and I'm here and I'm talking to you.
Like, okay. The tour coming up, the album, I got goosebumps from what you just said, and I got to gather my thoughts, because it is crazy to think that somebody who from such a young age was a go, and then to have those 3 years, I can't imagine it. That's rough. That's a lot of adjustment. That's a lot to figure out. It's
life.
It is life.
And life gets hard, and, there's ups and downs, and, you really see who who is there for you and who isn't. And I gained so much perspective, and I went through so much, but like I'm just so grateful to have my life, to to be getting tattoos, and I just finished my half sleeve. To be, dirt biking the other night, and to be skateboarding with friends, and to be writing music and planning a tour and going out to dinner and like working. And it's like, is it still hard? Yeah, it's hard, but it's like I just keep like fighting through and doing the best I can each and every day, and it gets better. And it continues to get better.
What do you learn about yourself from all of that? Like,
it sounds like maybe cliche and basic and simple, but I really just learned how to like appreciate the small things, like the simple things in life really are what truly matter the most. Like, the person that you love, your mom, your dad, your family, your friends, getting up for a cup of coffee, or having that glass of wine at night, or like cooking that meal with someone you love, or just like grabbing a guitar or going for a walk. Just the simple things mean so much.
it's the things you take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
It's truth. And again, perspective.
Perspective, yeah.
Totally different. How are you feeling?
Well, you mentioned your guitarist on the tour. So this album, there's not a lot of electric guitar or drums. So is it going to be, how are you doing that on tour? Like, how are you going to put the old songs mixed with the new songs?
So I figured, like, I'll just pretty much do, like, half old songs, 3/4. I'm trying to figure that out now. Probably, like, half the old stuff, half new. Funny enough, I have a lot of ballads. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to probably, like, come out on stage and, like, rock out, dial it back to a ton of ballads, and then rock out at the end. And just playing the old songs and starting band rehearsals and getting ready for the tour. It's just been like awesome. It's just like all that energy of those songs from my past are like feeding me, and it's so exciting. And I think like the show is actually going to be like really fun and quite diverse, and not only an emotional journey for myself, but for the people that are coming out.
I'm so excited.
Are you coming to see me at the Greek?
Oh, yeah.
Please come and visit me, all of you guys. Oh, yeah. Come check out the show.
Beyond. What does the record like My Happy Ending mean to you now when you perform it?
I fucking love that song. There's like certain songs of mine that I like love performing. So My Happy Ending, I don't know. Every time I perform that song and I'm With You, like I feel those songs so hard. And like I'm With You is probably my favorite song to perform live. And on this album, I wrote I'm With You Part 2. It's called It Was In Me. So I got together with Lauren Christie.
Whoa.
And she and I had written I'm With You together, and Skater Boy, and Complicated, and a bunch of other songs on the first album. And now I hadn't worked with her since then. So she came over to my home, and we spent like a few months around the piano and just talking and catching up. And I was like, can we please write another like killer ballad? So we wrote It Was In Me. And so that is kind of like, and I'm With You, and like will be like the next single.
What did I'm With You mean to you back then? Like, can you describe, like, because it's such a deep record.
So is this conversation.
It is.
So is this interview. I'm like, I need a cocktail.
I know.
Got right here.
By the way, didn't mean to start off that way, but it just went, and I'm so sorry.
Do you want some old whiskey?
Because, like, now I'm trying to
We
hear.
need like a skate break.
Yeah. Dude, can you teach me how to skateboard?
Do you have one?
I have one in my car, yeah.
Yeah, we can skate out on the street after if you want.
You want
to hear something funny?
Yes.
So I just got like the rest of my arm tattooed by London Reese, this like amazing tattoo artist, the other day. Like all of this.
Whoa.
So that's a lot. So I was like in a session for like.
Did you cover stuff up?
Not really, like 6 or 7 hours. And then like 2 days later, London texted me. He's like, how's that poor arm? And I was like, my arm's fine. It's my calf from skateboarding. I was like, all I can feel is like my leg hurts so bad, just the left side from skateboarding. And like, no, like 2 nights ago, I was dirt biking and I full on wiped out.
Damn.
Yo, but like, yes.
No. So today, like, I can like, hardly lift my arm. I should look. Can you see that?
Oh, that's a real scab.
Oh yeah, and then
That's good.
And then I have a bruise here,
But like,
and like my butt hurts. And like yesterday, I couldn't lift up my arm all the way because I fell off my basically it's a motorcycle. I like wiped out on my shoulder, and then I like woke up the next day. I was like, oh, I have a tour. I need to like stop skateboarding and like dirt biking until the tour is over. And then we got like a bunch of scooters, and like everyone's like eating on scooters these days.
Oh yeah.
I'm a scooter guy. I scootered twice today.
Scooter boy.
Yo, 2019 version. That's me. That should be a parody.
Listen, I'm going skateboard shopping this week to get a couple new boards because mine are like pretty fucking ancient. I'm gonna get you one.
Yo, rock on.
Okay.
Is this what they do, right? This rock on, but like.
Oh man.
I'm not doing any hand motions. I'll send you a pair of DCs in return.
yeah, please. I'm a size 7. I want the big fat skate
Big fat
shoe.
chunky ones.
Oh, done. Okay, I really do. The part 2 of my happy ending. That was that like
I'm with you.
That's real closure. Or yeah, I'm with you. The second part of that, is that the closure that you feel like needed to happen?
No, I don't look at it as closure. I was just like, I love that song so much. Like, let's write another one kind of like it. Like, I wanted to write a ballad with Lauren, and it's a really good song. Do you like that one?
It's deep, but
what isn't around here today?
It's a ballad. It's emotional.
It's deep AF.
But it's like when I listen to "I'm With You," I thought about myself differently, and I felt that really. Could I be honest with you? The lead single of "Head Above Water," like that was. But I think it's also the time period of my life that I listened to your music. Do you get what I'm saying? Is that like when I really soaked in, especially I soaked in today the duet with you and Travis, which is beautiful. But
oh, cool.
But really the voices really they come together so. I don't know. It's almost like they were meant to kind of flow.
And that's how it felt when I was with Travis in the room and he was singing. I was like, Say Something. You know that song?
Yes.
And so he started singing that and I was singing with him and I was like, I was thinking we needed to like have a duet initially. So now this year, like this month, we're releasing our duet of Head Above Water. So Travis Clark of We the Kings, his vocals on that. And he sounds like an angel.
That's literally what I thought.
And but when we were
Angelic.
writing, it was like that. It was like, I know it sounds crazy, but it was like a spiritual experience with that song. Everything about it, like how Head Above Water, how the lyrics came to me in bed, and then like how he just like showed up in my house.
Yeah, that's.
And then he's singing on my piano, and I like walk over, and I'm still like recovering, and I'm like, wow, you're so amazing. Do you want to write together? And then he comes back, and then we finished Head Above Water together, and then his voice and him and his story and where he comes from, and he grew up in a Christian home. I grew up in a Christian home. We're like, our moms are gonna be so proud of us, and like we're like, I think we've even prayed together, and like it just like he sat down on the piano. We finished the song in like an hour, and like everything just came to us, and we really did feel like it was like from God. But like,
but when I listened to that record, I had a moment like that. It was a realization. I really felt like I was drowning with a lot of stuff going on in work and in life, and it was I don't know that one I listen to constantly because it's a reminder to me. So
awesome.
I feel it, but I think that's also a testament to the records you create, is that they're very true, they're very honest, and like I feel the deepest connection to a lot of these records based on what I'm going through in my life and what I need to hear, like what somebody needs to say to me to wake myself up. That's it. Slap me in the face.
What's Bigger Wow about?
I just put on my Instagram today a video and used that song in it. You should look at it.
Is that Does that answer the question?
No. But here, let me answer it. It's just about like wanting to just to have a bigger wow. Just to wanting some
No, I get it.
being bored, wanting some excitement, just wanting to kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it like wanting a high, wanting to have fun, wanting to like, being bored with like, life and just like wanting to get thrown up in the clouds and stay up there.
That's a bigger
like-
wow.
Yeah.
Is pop punk dead?
Oh my God. No, it'll always be alive. Maybe on the radio
Yeah, but
right now.
it doesn't need to
No.
be, and it shouldn't be.
No, it's not.
How do you define the genre? Can you? Like, can you define the genre of pop punk?
Pop punk.
Yeah, like I was sorry to switch it so quickly, but like, I mean, like what? How do you define it? Like, is it a lifestyle today? Because it's changed over the years, and is it wrong in saying that? I mean, you're somebody who's been defined by the genre.
It's an attitude. It's a spirit. It's a way of life. It's an energy. It's youthful. It's rock. It's raw. It's loud. It's rebellious.
I feel like now's the time for pop punk,
Yeah.
but pop punk doesn't exist within your most recent album. I mean, it does actually still. Like, I Fell in Love with the Devil is pretty. It's punky.
I mean, I guess there's a bit of an attitude in
That's
Dumb
it.
Blonde. Dumb Blonde has a bit of a, and with, I think, Devil, out of all of the songs the most, that was the one that I was like, I really didn't hold back on.
Is there a record that we should listen to off this album to really get to know you the most?
I mean, they all have a little piece of me, and they are all different little stories of, my journey in my life. So there's a little bit of me in in all of the songs.
So listen to the album.
Yeah, listen to the album.
I totally like. I brought up my question about pop punk and I ruined the energy in the room.
No, it's just a hard question to answer in a way.
It is, because I kept trying to think to myself, like, where is it today? Like, and Travis was here and we had that conversation because We the Kings, like Skyscraper, like that was his record. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure.
Juliet.
Check Yes Juliet, like that, like Boys Like Girls, like there's so many different things that you helped usher in, like, and then Green Day before you, that I feel like it's almost missing. Like it almost in a sense breaks my heart, but it also makes me happy that like my 12-year-old cousin's first concert was a Panic at the Disco show like 2 months ago, because like that means that pop punk is still alive and there's a part of it that's thriving, but like where's the next generation?
I know.
Where are they at?
Well, it's like everyone's still out there rocking, like Sum 41, Blink 182, Green. Like
They're still
everyone's still out there.
Like
It's still alive.
the young kids ain't rocking.
No, not so much.
Yeah, where's the 17-year-old that's rocking? Where's the 17-year-old going through something and writing about it?
I know.
I feel like, I mean, Billie Eilish is doing it in her own
Yes.
way, kind of. It's not like the punk rock sound, but she kind of has that whole attitude towards it, I guess.
Billie Eilish credits you for like her. She have you heard that?
Yeah, she's dope. We just went to the Greek Theater and saw her concert live, and I was able to meet her. She's super sweet.
What are you thinking? I mean, really, like you ushered that in. One of the many things you've ushered in. Wild?
Yeah. She hit me up and she was like, yeah, like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And I met her and her brother, and they were just like, it was like so crazy for us because we both are like so into your music, and that was just like really inspiring. It was really nice to hear, and I'm just so happy to see like such young talent and a girl that's just like doing her thing, being herself and making music and working her butt off and super successful. I think, she put on a awesome live show, and you know, like I hit her up because also we were talking and I was like, you know, if you need anything, let me know. Cause she's like the exact same age I was. You know, she's 17, right?
Yeah, around there.
And that's when my first album came out. And like,
No.
I know how like scary and like crazy and like gnarly that can be. And like, I'm like super proud of her. Like she's out there and she's strong and their music's like on point and it's very like unique and authentic and cool, and she just doesn't give a and she's like got her own, you know, style, and her show was great. Like she carried that entire album throughout her concert and just had the audience in the palm of her hands, and that's like really difficult to do. She's killing it.
Have you guys discussed working together?
No. That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool.
Do you think about what life would have been like if you had social media back then?
Yeah, so different, right? Because everything was like print, so we just had to like go around and do all these. Probably had to work more. We had to work.
Yeah.
We had to like do all these interviews.
You were physically
all
everywhere.
these photo shoots. I was literally in a different city every day,
Yeah.
and flying every day, and it was like a lot of work. It was like great, but it was really grueling. And but also I think back then too, like the fan base or the listener or the public in general were just like sort of really, if they you know clicked with a musician, they kind of got like really into them, and there wasn't like as many around, so you end up being like on posters, on walls, and then like they wait for articles. You're on the cover of a magazine and they get it and they read it, and there's
like a
something
lifestyle.
really cool about that. And I got to experience that. And you know, I came out in 2002 when we were still selling albums. People were buying CDs, holding them, like walking them over to me to sign. And
I still have your CD.
you do?
Yeah, it's at my house in Wayne, New Jersey, next to the boombox that I used to listen to it on.
That's dope.
You're right. Like,
I still have my boombox too, man.
where's your boombox?
And my Walkman.
Yeah.
And my, what was the Discman?
Yep.
Yeah, the yellow thing.
Yeah. It's like gray and orange, yeah.
Those ridiculous headphones.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a totally different time. It was a time of physical.
Yeah.
It was physical everything, right? From posters to you needing to go there to, but it was a more intensity of a fandom
Yeah.
that only few have now. But only few had it before. But streaming made the way for anybody to find an audience. Changes it.
It's just different, yeah.
Crazy to look at, like to see how it's evolved.
But it's cool because I'm still here and I'm still making music, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You still look exactly the same too.
Thank you.
You got a tour coming up. Do
Yeah.
we know where the first stop is going to be?
So tour starts in September in Seattle.
Rock on.
Jen? And 18th is LA. September 14th, we're starting the tour, kicking the tour off in Seattle, and then playing the Greek Theater in Los Angeles September 18th.
I Fell in Love with the Devil. That is a single right now.
I do have a question. I noticed that, so you said the first two songs you wrote were Head Above Water and Warrior, and they start and end the album. Did you do that on
Yeah.
purpose?
Dude, good question.
Thank you for noticing. Yeah, kind of like after it made sense to open and close with that. And then like the album being called Head Above Water, and the first single being called Head Above Water, and the tour is Head Above Water, and then Warrior, just like, it's like obviously like those two were about my health battle, and I didn't, you know, it made sense to, I always put like end my album with like one of my favorite songs too.
Why?
Or a song that means a lot, or that is like powerful to me.
Do you want people to listen to the entire thing? Is that the hook?
Yes, absolutely. Do they do that anymore these days?
Is
Is it just like they just pick a couple songs?
Top to bottom is the recommended way to listen to
Yes.
this album.
Get it in vinyl and sit around with some wine.
Go old school, old school. But by the way, I was wondering I love your clothing line. Thank you for sending me all the gear.
You're welcome.
My sister's wearing the hoodie. Who is Abby Dawn to you? Is that like a side of you? Is that a character you've created?
Abby Dawn's my nickname. So like my dad started calling me that when it was like a street name. And then in high school, so then I just became known as Abby. So everyone was like, Abby. And then like some of my friends still today call me Abby. And then like if we're like out, like it used to be my alias name, but not anymore. And then if we're out and instead of someone in public, instead of someone yelling like my name, they'll just call me Abby.
That's more low key.
Keep it DL.
That's appropriate. Because if somebody yells Avril Lavigne, I'm running. I'm looking. I'm going. Whoa.
Well, the one other question I had is, what is the future of your sound? Like, do you like where you are now? Or do you want to go back to your older sound? Do you want to change it again?
I've been writing a lot lately and just coming up with like more song concepts and stuff. And I think the next album will be a little more up and fun and a little more aggressive.
Okay.
There's some guitars and live drums
Bring
on the
it back.
production.
Yep.
Yeah.
But how is that connected to is that connected to your life right now? Is that your present?
Yeah, I just I'm kind of like, like a more fun, energetic, like a little more aggressive like headspace right now, I think. Place. Yeah.
You are truth. That's again, one of the many things that have been like consistent through all the pieces of work that you put out there is truth. It's reflective of your reality. Head Above Water is the album you should listen to. I fell in love with the devil. That is, with the devil, not a devil, the Satan. There's no, don't get it wrong. I fell in love with the devil. That is the single. Avril Lavigne. Final thoughts?
Well, yeah,
We're
yeah.
in the
You
presence
said
of-
you grew up in a Christian household. So what was it like writing a song about I fell in love with the devil?
Well, that's a metaphor, obviously.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with like my spiritual belief. But I know some people were like saying some stuff about that. They didn't like that, but no, it was just really a metaphor for just like falling in love with somebody who is like super toxic and just not a good person.
A POS.
That's how POS. Oh.
Sounds like a new song.
Really quick, thank you for the song Girlfriend, and then thank you for the Girlfriend Lip Gloss is Poppin' remix.
Oh, little mama.
The greatest remix
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
of my
That's
lifetime.
incredible.
I played it at every dance I would DJ. It got the party going. It got me going. How was that remix born? Because I feel like the only moment that I can kind of connect to that is similar was like Jay-Z Linkin Park type era. You get what I'm saying? Like that
was so dope, and I got to shoot 2 music videos for Girlfriend, and I love performing Girlfriend live too. That's another favorite. And then during that tour, the Best Damn tour, 2008, I sang Girlfriend at the top of the show, and then as my encore. I did it twice. I loved it so much. I did it twice.
What do you love about it?
Oh my God, the energy. It's just dope. It's just like running around and the crowd gets super amped and just like bouncing. And it's just so much fun. I love singing that one live. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who hate singing their old songs, and they've sat right where you're sitting
Yeah.
on this couch.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
What do you say to those people who are lucky enough, just like you, to have timeless records?
And I like base my life upon like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I did that on my 3rd album, or like that was on my 1st album.
They're
Like
chapters.
literally, yeah. And it just brings, they're all moments in time. I've had a long career. So like Complicated Skater Boy takes me back to like Necktie, like first album, like traveling the world for the first time, like caking on the black eyeliner. And then like the Best Damn Thing, like those were my Derek days, like, and Girlfriend was the album, smash, and that was like fun and pink, and like I was living in LA, and you know, married to another rock star. It was wild. And and then like this album, not so fun, but no.
But you
Deep
come, yes, but you come out on the other side.
Yes, I do. And this album is just like gets real album.
But that's life.
And I'll look back at that and be like, wow, I went through that, and like, holy shit. And just hope that like I can inspire and like help other people, and just like be proud of myself for being a warrior and keeping my head up and like continuing to like just keep going and climbing the mountain, even though I keep getting slapped and knocked back down.
But keep going.
Yeah.
Consistency is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, this was great.
Yeah.
Amen.
Avril Lavigne, everybody. An honor.
Guys, thank you so much for having me.
Standing ovation.
Yes.
Yeah, we stand for you.
Thank you.